You saw the pictures of my spooky crafting party I'm preparing.
Melissa, it was such a delightful surprise to open up our podcast Instagram, and I was like, what are these new stories? And I was like, full confession, I don't decorate for Halloween.
Bitch! Excuse?
I was like, should I tell her? I don't.
What are you talking about? All of this is your actual. What are you saying?
I know. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't even really like unpopular opinion.
God.
I don't even like
God.
decorating my house for Christmas.
Oh my God, I'm about to fuck you up. What? I thought you were the person that has the fucking cobwebs on the bushes, all that shit.
No, okay, so Quinn is very upset with me. Quinn wishes that I would transform this house every year like Martha Stewart and make it a very spooky mid-century masterpiece. I don't like having extra stuff in my house because it drives me nuts, and it's extra stuff I have to dust around. Now, I do have a collection. I have a very small collection of Halloween decorations. And so she has just taken it upon herself to take those things, and she decorates her own room, which is fine because then I don't have to look at it. She also made Chris take her to the store so that she could buy porch decorations. So I have a bale of hay and some decorative corn and some decorative gourds out on my front porch, but that's it. So I just want to take a little moment and say,
wow,
get a little sash that says Queen of Halloween because it's impressive. Your selfie wall, please, impressive.
First of all, painstakingly bending each little bat so it looks like it's flying.
I know.
Then having to explain to Maja that when we position them on the wall, the smallest ones need to be up highest because they're furthest away. So to the naked eye, they would be the furthest. She was like, "Okay, yeah, I'm seeing it." I had to open up a swarm of bats and be like, "You see you see how they're flying? That's how we want it, so that when you and your little friends get in front of the selfie wall, it looks like the bats are flying away." Because the crafting party, the children will be able to wear their little costume and then they'll do crafts. Really, all it is a drinking party. For the two moms that are coming. And the only reason why this came to be, I'll go way back to the womb and explain how this happened. I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to do this. None of this had to happen at all. But what had happened was, Maja's kind of anxious, whatever, and I had been asking her, well, what do you want to do for Halloween? What do you want to do for Halloween? So that I can then, put my feelers out to the moms that I know and kind of piggyback and jump onto their plans. This is what I always do. But I guess last year Maja didn't love that experience because we were just coming out of all of the homeschooling and the this and that. I mean, everything's starting to feel 2 and 3 years. Everything's a blur. The time span is a blur. All I know is that she was anxious at that time. She didn't feel like really socializing. People didn't have their masks on even though we were outside, and the air was less contagious than it is now, even though no one wears masks. Listen, it's the upside down out here. People are just running crazy. So when I said, we can go trick-or-treating in that area, she was just like, So then in my mind, I was like, upset, and even just talking to her about trying to make plans, I could see she was getting misty-eyed, just kind of in isolation and a sadness about what's her plan gonna be. And I was just like, right. Not on my goddamn watch. So Justin's on tour. I called him to tell him, I had a conversation with Maja about what the plans are, this and that. He's like, well, you have to do something. Justin back, come on, our kids are gonna be lepers. They're gonna be social lepers. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. Meanwhile, he's not here. You want to walk them all around? The way my eczema is set up, you want to do it? So, in my mind, in the middle of the night, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna make a budget in my mind. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna buy all the crap, the detritus that you don't even have out, okay? I'm gonna buy all of it, and I'm gonna invite you know, because her BFF now doesn't celebrate Halloween.
Oh.
Her BFF now is, you know, a little religious girl. She doesn't
Yeah.
celebrate Halloween. I invited Maja to invite her, and she was like, oh, shit ain't like that. I was like, okay. So I invited a couple of Maja's friends that she rarely gets to see because they live in other towns. So shout out to Jaden XD. We got Lil Noah coming through.
Hey.
You know, my favorite Megan. We got her son coming through.
Nice.
And then I made a new friend in town who doesn't know anybody, so she's not even going to be privy to how crazy I am and how out of character this is. So that's perfect. And I just bought up every goddamn thing. I bought every candy. I bought every posable fucking skeleton. I bought every bat. I bought every popsicle stick. If I can glue this to that and make it look like a zombie. Yep. I bought every craft. I bought a game of Candyland.
Yep.
I bought a giant cardboard fort that they can color. And
Cute.
Really all it's going to be is... I'm going to set it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, y'all knock yourself out. Here's the trash. Don't jump up on my furniture. Drinks stay over here.
Don't spin in the
Mommies are
eaves.
over. Correct. Mommies are over here. Babies are over there. That's it. I'm gonna order in chicken kebab. Y'all can have rice or chicken. That's all we have. That's all we have. And you can eat your candy. And then after that, I'm gonna have the bouncy house in the backyard. Y'all can take your costumes off. You can keep them on. I don't care what you do. You can take your pictures with your iPads and your this and your that. You can jump around in the back. And it's going to be, 3 hours tops, and then y'all got to go. Y'all got to go. And that way, and I'm doing it, before Halloween, so that when Halloween does come and it's cold as shit or it's rainy, I will have already done my due diligence. I will have already served as Mom of the Year, and then we'll spend that cozy rainy day of them not walking around getting the bottoms of their costumes soaking wet and muddy. By taking all this goddamn shit down together. But Maja was very excited as the Amazon boxes started showing up. She was very confused because I said, okay, why don't we do some crafts and some friends come over. I didn't mention nothing about no decorating. So when she started opening the boxes and being like, Mom, what's this? Is this a spooky tablecloth? I was like, girl, I got spider webs hanging down my stairwell.
She's having like a reverse Jack Skellington moment. So Jack Skellington is like the big man on campus in Halloween Town, and he discovers Christmas when he leaves Halloween Town, and he's walking around in the Christmas village, and there's a song, what's this? What's this? And he's like so excited and so happy. So you've really, I know you said you weren't going to let him watch The Nightmare Before Christmas, but you probably should at this time because you're living it.
Oh, yeah. I think I seen that one. That's the cute one.
You said you didn't because we don't do Christmas things in the Beck household.
No, but I seen that a long time ago. That shit came out in like the early 2000s or something. It's like the man that works with Johnny Depp all the time.
Yeah, Danny Elfman.
And it's real creepy. It looks like No. It looks like Coraline type shit.
Yes.
Yeah, I seen that.
We should let your girls watch it.
Yeah, whatever. They can watch whatever the fuck they want for that whole 3 hours. I don't give a shit what you do, but you're gonna keep the mess over there. And the moms are ordering sushi. We have wine set up.
That sounds like so much fun.
Jade's coming through, so I'm gonna have Jade rolling me some little shit for later. Listen, I'm really happy for Maja because she's very excited about, seeing her friends and having this be like, it's her event. So
yeah,
I've packaged it as her event.
That's really good. Melissa. Oh.
The worst. Come to find, you have nary a pumpkin bunting. I can't even.
Quinn has it. I'm telling you, Quinn went down. So the day after I got my vaccine, my booster, I was in bed all day. I felt like shit. So Chris took the kids out, did stuff, and so that day she came down in the basement. She found the Tupperware. She brought it up to her room. I do have a little happy, like it's like skulls and stuff. She has a little bunting. I have these little like black and orange beads. She's strung that up with her little LED lights. She's got light up ghosts. I mean, her room is good for her. She likes that. I don't like to take it out and put it out because I don't like the putting away. I don't like the dusting around of. Christmas comes down the day after Christmas. I just don't like that extra stuff in my house because it hurts my soul a little bit.
Clutter. I don't like it. I don't want to see it. But that's a great idea. I'm gonna go ahead and go buy at Target one of those little orange plastic bins. It's gonna be marked Halloween. Put it in the garage, and then next year when this happens, and as they phase out of it, because I'm sure I'm gonna have to do this again for Shira when she turns 9 and is like, but then why can't I have it in your? I'm gonna go. Here's your Halloween items, girls. Go ahead and decorate your rooms, girls. And then by 13, all they really want to do is wear those animal onesies and go terrorize towns. That's what they want to do. They don't need to be in here. So I just got to survive a couple more years of this bullshit, and we'll be fine. Wow. I mean, honestly, I'm a great mom. I don't know
You're a
what everybody else
mom.
is doing. I'm an excellent mother. Go ahead and put some applause on there if you're gonna find that track. I'm a great mom. Yay. But you know who else is a great mom? You know who else is a great mom?
I do know who else is a great mom. She's like mom goals.
A one Kelley Wolf. So welcome back to this special, spooktacular. What do we call this? The Spooktacular Sessions of Imperfect Strangers podcast, brought to you by the one and only Amanda Strong, begrudgingly Melissa Beck. No, you go ahead and tell it, because I didn't do a goddamn thing.
Yeah. Okay. So, while Melissa was busy in Merch Direct Land and BravoCon, I was like, you know what? It might be fun to do something a little bit different this year. Obviously, last year we did our Halloween Monday Night Live, and that was kind of the extent of it. But I thought maybe we could get ghost stories from listeners, or maybe we could call in friends of the show and they have ghost stories. So I DM'd Kelley and Danny together and was like, hi guys, Melissa doesn't know this, but I would love for you guys to be on and share a story with me. And they were like, yes, we have stories. We're in. So Danny did his last week. We're going to hear from Kelley this week. And then after this, we have one more spooky surprise. We're not going to like beat you over the head with it for weeks and weeks to come. But I think it's
really?
been
This
fun.
hasn't been weeks and weeks. This hasn't been weeks and weeks. You've got me decorating the interior of my home. We're not going to beat you over the head with it, but... Yes, so... we're very excited.
I'm really out here doing the Lord's work.
Girl, that's Satan's work.
I was going to say, hail Satan. We have done a full transformation.
So honestly, very excited to have Kelley come on. Her voice is very lovely and soothing, and she's just really sweet. So without further ado, please enjoy a little spooky story from Kelley Wolf.
Ooh.
Well, hey there, my imperfect stranger friends. But you guys are kind of perfectly perfect friends, so I don't know if we can keep this title anymore. It's your girl, Kay, otherwise known as Kelley Wolf, who is now back in the state of Utah. That's right, folks. I'm back in Utah. Okay, listen, I know y'all are doing a scary Halloween stories, and I heard that Amanda is a big fan of the scary stories. However, mine's not going to be scary. I hope it's funny, because it is the most embarrassing. Well, maybe not the. It's in my top 10, because I've got a lot. I've got like at least a top 100 embarrassing moments. One of my special skills in life. All right, guys. I'm going to set the stage for you. This is 1991. maybe I was in 7th grade. So I grew up in Arkansas, and 7th grade in Arkansas at the time was the first year of junior high. So basically you would go, K through 6 at one elementary school, and then you'd move on to junior high. I show up at junior high, 7th grade. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen some of my amazing shots. I had a style all my own. And a mullet, a permed mullet. But yeah, I was living in just my very special magic. I get to 7th grade, and I guess we start at the end of August, beginning of September. And Halloween will be soon. Okay, 7th grade has 7th, 8th, and 9th graders, all right? So we're the little peeps on the totem pole. I'm told by somebody, and I don't remember who, and if I find out who it is, I think you should raise your hand, call me, text me, or write me and tell me and cop to the fact that you did this, because you know who you are. Actually, I love whoever said this because they clearly had a sense of humor. I get told by, it had to have been more than one person, I think, that there was a massive all-school costume party at the school, but also a costume competition. So it was going to be held in the cafeteria. The whole school was going to be there. It's going to be really fun. It's this big Halloween party, and everybody dresses up. I think y'all know where we're probably heading already, but let's just, that's the stage, okay? I think just turned 13 because my birthday's in October. And I start planning a good 3 to 4 weeks out for my costume. I sit down, I start sketching some things that I think would just crush this competition. Like, really want to think outside the box. I like that kind of stuff. And I'm sitting one day in the bathroom, and I was like, wait a minute. I could be a giant roll of toilet paper. Definitely nobody will be that. You definitely cannot buy that. I definitely will have to make it. So, I forgot this part. My parents were actually going to be out of town on the weekend of Halloween that this party was, and I was going to be staying at my friend's house. Okay, so my sweet dad at the time takes me to the local sewing and fabric store, and I loved making things when I was a teenager, so I was super into it. I go to the back of the store, and they have this whole batting section. I think it's called batting. I think it's the stuff that goes inside of a quilt. It's like, flimsy looking cotton. And my dad and I are in the back of the store, and he's trying to wrap me up in the cotton to the point where it looks like a roll of toilet paper. So I've got my head sticking out of the top and my legs out of the bottom, and we're rolling. And it's so wide that it's just impossible to even move. I can't move my arms. They're stuck straight out with my hands at the end. And so my dad's like, all right, well, let's just take some of it off. So he takes it off until I get into a comfortable place where I can walk, move my arms, all that kind of stuff. We go home, I work on it a little bit, and I'm satisfied. I, in my mind, thought I just looked like a used roll of toilet paper, sort of like a half roll of toilet paper. Okay. Underneath this batting, I have on probably one of those, it's not a bra because I didn't have any boobs at all. I had nothing had happened down there. I had not gone through puberty. It was nothing, literally nothing. So I think I had, I don't even know, a crop top, tank top type of thing that I would not want anybody to see, of course. My brother had some running shorts or something that you couldn't see through, so I think I put those on. And then I think I had pantyhose, and then I painted my face white, and that was the plan. That was the plan. So I get in the car, and I'm so excited. I am winning the contest. I'm positive I'm going to win the contest. There's no way I'm losing this sucker. I mean, this is too good. I show up at my friend's house, and she's kind of looking at me a little sideways, but not completely sideways. Now, remember, she's probably 12, I'm 13, or somewhere in that zone. None of us had gone through puberty at this point. But she's like, yeah, I think it's great. She's not dressed up as anything, though. at first. And I said, wait, what are you? And she's like, oh, I'm a baby. I'm going as a baby. And she picks up this pacifier and a like stuffed animal and puts it under her hand. And she might have had like a matching jumpsuit, like a pink sweatshirt and pink pants. Her mom takes us to the junior high. She drops us off. We walk in the front door of the junior high. Somebody opens the door. It is the entire school, and not one single person is in a costume. Not one. Not one. Not even Mrs. Martin, the teacher who would like do that kind of stuff just to make people feel good and like be cute. No, I'm the only person. And it's not completely clicking in my mind that maybe there's been a farce of some kind. Or maybe my friends are a bunch of assholes. Needless to say, when those doors opened, a 7th grader dressed as a tampon walked right through the door. Now y'all get it. Now y'all get it. Somebody back in the back of this crowded room says, "It's a tampon." Now remember, little Kelley, little president of the science club, mullet wearing, permed Kelley is like, wait, a what? A what? Now, we did not have TikTok and Instagram and the internet and social media and all the things. And I don't even think I was allowed to have Sassy Magazine or any of that stuff either. So let's just say I was pretty naive. My mom was the super mega hippie who told me the things. I think she bought me Our Bodies, Ourselves when I was probably 12. But you guys of a certain age will know which book I'm talking about. But that was kind of my total understanding of this tampon situation. And then it occurred to me, oh my God, I am just a giant tampon. But there was one amazing thing that was happening, which was at this point, nobody knew who the tampon was because you couldn't see me. It was just a hole in the cotton and my painted white face and just arms and legs sticking out. So some boys were like, get it, like grab the tampon. And people were starting to like pull the cotton off the sides. And I know that eventually it was just going to be me standing there in this, I guess what one would call a sports bra these days, but it wasn't even, it was like not even. And I just ran. Like I ran and ran and ran. And one of my memories is trying to get under this table in the cafeteria, but the top of my tampon head was too large and I couldn't get it under the table. And then I finally get out the other side of the table. I go through these doors. I run down a hallway. I get to this bathroom. And this is actually makes me really sad. I run into the bathroom and I'm like, okay, nobody knows it's me, unless my friend says it's me, but nobody knows it's me. But she's also like a 7th grader and my friend. And to be honest, she might have meant to be a baby and didn't actually know what was going on. It doesn't matter. We stayed friends. It was nobody's fault but mine for not doing my due diligence and asking more questions and finding out, is this real? Are we supposed to dress up? So there's a girl in the bathroom. Actually, this is kind of one of those things that just sort of stuck with me. And she was crying. She was sitting on the floor of the bathroom. She was not in a costume. And she looked up at me and I had been obviously crying. And so there was like tears coming down my white makeup. This is now not funny. Now it's just sad. Whatever. That's what this is. And she's like, are people being mean to you too? Doesn't that just, oh my gosh. You know what? Being a teenager is hard. Being a person is hard. Being a human is hard. And then just also being dressed as a tampon when you're all those things is also really hard. So the end of the story ends in this beautiful landscape. I will explain it to you in visual fashion. I am able to get myself out of the bathroom, down a hall. I think I might have taken the things off and so I don't remember how that ended up working out, but I did. And I get to a phone in the office and I call my friend's mom because remember my parents are out of town. And I have to explain what happened to her. She comes to pick me up and takes me back to her house And they lived on top of this beautiful hill, and they had this porch swing that was like connected to 2 trees, and it looked out over the top of this mountain. And I was inconsolable. I was truly inconsolable. I could not stop crying. I could not pull it together. I was all the things. And I always imagine if this was a movie, the camera would have been behind, and it was a tampon with a mother's arm around it, holding it, rocking back and forth as the sun is coming, down on the other side of this mountain. That's my story. That is my Halloween story. It's not scary. It's not even really that funny. It's just kind of sad. But what I also want to say to you guys from my heart to your heart is whatever you're going to be for Halloween, or whatever you want to be for Halloween, be you, pick what you want. It doesn't matter. And if I could go back in time, I would tell that 13-year-old girl that she should own that SHIT.
Oh, not a giant tampon.
I felt so many emotions listening to that story.
It was a roller coaster. Okay.
Yes, the whole gamut. Poor thing. I thought, you know what, before she got into running out of the gymnasium, I thought she was going to say that she started her period and she had on all of this white, and I was like, oh no, this is going to be so traumatic. But it was traumatic anyways.
No, what I was thinking is, I just visualized the white makeup, streaked with tears.
Oh,
ma'am.
I know. And she was so excited. She thought she was being so clever, and her dad took her to help her. No, I know, but that time when you're at that formative age of preteen, teenager, and you still have a little ounce of innocence left in you. And then something terrible like this happens, and it just strips away, and you're just
that was the end
on
of
a bench.
Innocence for her. She was ready for 8th grade. This will never. Honestly, the fact that she's not a hardened criminal, because that's.
It was so traumatic.
This was trust no bitch. I don't.
And her friend just left her high and dry.
That was, but it was really cute because I can imagine the energy and time that she put into it. First, I just imagined her sitting in the front seat of one of those wood-paneled station wagons, knowing her outfit was going to kill. Okay.
Kill. She was like, I'm gonna show up and everybody's gonna be like, this is amazing. Look at you. My social status is going to rise because now I have come up with the coolest and also funny, because toilet humor is always funny, no matter what age you are.
The funny part is it follows her. She is, to me, and for me, and all she's ever shown of me, since we've reconnected and gotten back together, is she is very funny, but at the same time, she's very graceful. So at one point during Real World Homecoming, the episodes were coming out, whatever, and she had told a story about how she's able to navigate and move in the world is that she always, keeps up a sense of poise. And there was one meme going around that was really hysterical, and they had photoshopped a gorgeous, windblown picture of Kelley with wildflowers in the background onto a package of poise. And I was like, I know you better get your money. So this kind of it was so cute. This kind of just funny weird juxtapositions of her with a thing, just imagining tiny Kelley as a tampon is hysterical. I got to change her in my phone as, what'd she say? Tampon head Kelley. But it was really just such a lovely. It was such a lovely little anecdote to take you into, but also so true to who she is and what she does, which was, she said she would have told her little self, you know what, go in there and own that. It was just so, I was dying.
I know. Oh, it just
I used to sign my wish, oh God, I hope no one has it. No one does, Melissa. Okay. No one has the 1995 high school yearbook from Brandon Senior High School. No one has it, so calm down. But I used to sign it, live like toilet paper, long and useful. Bitch, I thought I was clever as hell. The whole time Kelly's telling the story, I was like, have I been like celestially connected to this woman all this time? Because we have
a musical. Oh my God, Melissa.
I thought I was really doing something. The same way Kelly thought she was really doing something. Nobody's gonna do this. Nobody's gonna say that shit. And then I would draw. You know, because you learned how to draw like a cube. I drew a little cylinder with a little roll of paper, and then I signed my name under the little paper, so it looked like my name was, flowing off of the toilet paper.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh my God! If anybody listening does have a copy of that yearbook,
no, please don't.
Please take a picture and send it to us. You can just send it. She doesn't check our DMs. Melissa's not in those DMs. Just send it to me. I want to see it.
I'm really not. And you know what? Just as a precaution to everyone that's listening to this, Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter went through a couple of hours ago. So if you want to strip your account, who knows what that man's going to be doing. Not that you have anything crazy going on, and not that he gives a fuck about your tweets, but you never know.
You never know. Did you ever, I know, oh God, I don't even want to ask this question because I don't want it to be like made to sound like I'm being condescending. Did you ever have a Halloween costume that was just really horrendous?
Wow, Amanda's back at it. We're going to call her Backhanded Amanda. Did you ever have a costume in your weird childhood? Did they ever do that for you? There's this thing called holidays, like Easter. I'm sure you didn't have that. Christmas. Did you get gifts?
Tiny Tim. Oliver Twist. Please, sir.
I think I had maybe a Wonder Woman costume. Do you know those costumes where it used to just be like a weird, like a painter smock?
Yes.
And it just
and a plastic
it didn't have
mask.
a back. Yes, and then the plastic mask that just had the eye hole and the mouth hole, and it was real sweaty on your face. I think I had one of those. And then one time, and the only other time that I remember a costume specifically is I was a Cabbage Patch in the Cabbage Patch play that my parents did not attend. Wow. Sorry. I actually think I talked about that moment. That fucking moment, actually, that vulnerability, okay, got me fucking booked on the goddamn real world because I had opened it with so many glowing things about my parents, which are true, but, 2 and 3 things can be true at the same time.
Right. And
I remember telling the story of, kind of feeling on my own in some cases, and I think I brought that up, that not specifically the Cabbage Patch play, but like my parents didn't go to plays and shit like that. I didn't play soccer. I didn't do these things. But I might, I also, have weird ass parents. You really see Shorty at a soccer field? Like, come on. But I remember I was in a play, and I don't even know how I procured this costume, and maybe I'm misremembering, but like an adult had to have gotten me a yarn wig. Yeah. Who did it? I couldn't have gone and get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, an adult had to go procure it for me. But then in my mind, I'm like, if you procured me the wig, why were you not at the performance?
And somebody had to drop you off.
I think some weird Christian girl did. Oops. I think some nice Christian girl did. But listen, I remember having...
We've said Jesus is chuggy on this podcast before.
Okay, yeah. I remember having like a prairie kind of long Holly Hobby-ish kind of dress, and I remember drawing freckles on my face, and I remember swaying back and forth on a stage going, in my Cabbage Patch dreams. Aww. I don't remember how I got home. I don't know how I got there. I don't know what grade it was.
How old were you?
I have no idea, but I just know that those were the 2 times that I remember being in a costume. God, I cannot... I know my brother once was a ninja. Mm-hmm. But then that kind of backfired on us. He had fashioned a ninja outfit out of a bunch of black clothing that did not belong to him. That became a problem. But then he also took that ninja costume and took it too far. When Halloween ended, he proceeded to continue wearing it throughout the neighborhood. That became a problem. And climbing on people's rooftops with a little pocket knife and cutting off the little, these little like squares of roof tarring. And then he would fashion those squares into actual ninja stars. So he was making weapons out of the scraps that he tore off of your roof.
Oh my God.
And it was genius, but then he would sell them all to the little neighborhood kids. And I remember it was genius. I remember at one point a parent came and knocked on our door, and my mom answered, and I was like standing right behind her in like protective stance just because I was like, oh no, somebody's gonna, and you know, they did exactly what I knew they were gonna do. Hi, are you such and such's mom? She's fucking Asian, she's not deaf. And she was like, yes. And then they explained to her that he has been dressed like a ninja. He has the other children dressed like ninjas. The children have been climbing onto roofs and cutting off pieces of roof and making ninja stars out of them and then throwing the ninja stars. And it's kind of a problem, and we think your son is the ringleader. To which my mother responded, you just don't like us because we're black. And she shut that door. We're black. So, yeah, that's my extent of costumes. We don't really do that around here.
Wow. I just like Kelley's story, I just went through a whole range of emotions in like 5 seconds. My gosh.
So, yeah, do you remember the costumes you wore?
Yes, I do.
And how many minutes do we have? Because I'm sure you could. In the year 1984.
I have a lot. I was a witch. I was a clown. I was Raggedy Ann. I had a poodle skirt one year, so I was like a 50s sock hop girl. One year, there was a store in the Kenwood Mall. I think it was called the Charter Club. And they had these beautiful shopping bags, these paper shopping bags. And my mom went and got these shopping bags, and she cut out the bottom. And then she fashioned them into like a dress, and she stapled tissue paper on top. My sister and I went as shopping bags, and she wrote like "Born to Shop" on our cheek and like a little $sign on the other cheek. And
oh my gosh, that's adorable.
It was very cute. And I think the whole reason she did it was because these shopping bags were beautiful. But like it was a great like cute DIY, like this cheap as fuck. Like we wore like I think white tights and white turtlenecks. And
that is adorable.
Yeah. But I went to college on a notoriously haunted campus in a notoriously haunted town. And if you Google Athens, Ohio Halloween, you will see that they have a giant block party every Halloween. And so my dressing up, like I dressed up, I think well into my freshman year of high school. And then I was too cool. So I would just sit at home and watch Rocky Horror on VH1 and pass out candy. But then when I went to college, I had a good 4 years of drunk and dressed up debauchery, which was so fun. So
you
yeah,
drunk?
Yes.
Why can I not imagine it?
It was just a very short-lived period of time. I was late to the drinking game because I was a teen counselor in high school. So I encouraged children. I went every week to your child's school and told them how important it was to not drink or do drugs.
Well,
and
yeah.
Then I went to college and I was like, wow, this is what it's like to be drunk off of natural light. But I wasn't like, I think I recognized pretty quickly because I was also a vomiter. If I drink too much, I get sick. You can ask Chris how much fun my 21st birthday was. It was not fun for anybody but me. So I think once I realized...
I got really sick on my 21st birthday, too.
Did you?
What did you drink?
Shots. Everybody just gave me shots, and it was drizzling on my birthday, I remember. And so I think I got to the point where I was probably on the verge of alcohol poisoning, and Chris was walking. We had stopped and had pizza. The last stop was this bar that we really liked. And it was called Courtside Pizza. Their pizza was really good. And I remember leaving and walking home like the roundabout way, and I had to stop across the street from the IGA and sit down and vomit while he just rubbed my back.
Whoa.
It was rough. I was so cute. I had a cute outfit on. I was so cute. It was bad. And I was like the last one to turn 21. So I was like ready by the time my turn came around.
Dude, there must be some kind of wiring that we have where we're like rule followers, even though yours was designated because you were actually raised. Mine kind of... I remember I had an inordinate amount of freedom because I made straight A's and my parents weren't like worried about me, you know, disgracing the Howard name until I got on Real World. But I was, you know, super into being straight edge because I was, you know, a little hardcore girl, and I was like really proud of the fact that I was the only brown hardcore girl. And so, you know, my thing was we should feed homeless people. We should not do drugs.
We should.
So I remember my 21st birthday, I was going to break edge, which was a big deal. I was having like a lot of inner turmoil about, oh God, I'm a hypocrite. So we were at a show. I can't remember which one, but at the time there was this beer, which I am not a beer person. I'm a red wine person. There was this beer. I don't know why I think it was called Hooch, but it was orange. It was supposed to taste like orange soda. And I remember just carrying it around the club and being like, see, I'm drinking now.
Yeah. Look at me, I'm such an adult.
Yeah, and needing everybody to know that I was drinking it, and I had 2 of them. Baby, and I ain't but 92 pounds. I had 2 of them.
Oh, no.
Bitch, you know, Snapchat filter. It was a wall of vomit. It was just, which is, I feel like, a recurring theme in my life. Anytime there's a wall of vomit related to me, it's a problem. I feel like I've told stories before where I've explained that there was vomit. Well, I should probably stop oversharing. Anyway, I was very sick. And from there, I just was like, yeah, drinking's not that cool. But I also, I don't know. I never have had a drinking problem. It was projected onto me. In the best way. And so I don't love drinking. I don't love that feeling. I don't like being, sick in the morning and.
Ugh, it's the
it's not.
Gosh.
I like having a little buzz. You know, I like having a little buzz to where I'm feeling good. I'm feeling less inhibited. You know, I might, tickle your little balls. You know what I'm saying? But I don't need to be wasted. I don't need to be Vicky Gunvalson. Woohoo! You know what I'm saying? I don't need to do all that.
Yeah, I remember it was like one of the first weekends we'd gotten to school, and we had a handful of friends that were either they were like upperclassmen, and so we were just coming in. But I also had like a handful of friends like from high school that had gone, and so I remember going out drinking one night with these boys who, there were some from our grade, and there were some that were like a year ahead of us. And I remember and they all like had been you know what I mean? Like they were all experienced drinkers, and so I'm new to this game. And I think the first time you start drinking, you think like, oh, if I stop, this feeling is going to go away, and this is really fun. And I remember vomiting we were uptown in somebody's really nice apartment. Uptown in Athens is like kind of the main strip. It's a small town in the middle of nowhere, so it's like the only place where there's like a Taco Bell and shops. And we're in somebody's nice apartment, and my friend Ryan from high school sitting with me out in this hallway, and I'm vomiting into like a wall trash can.
Oof,
almost,
oh God!
like where you
oh
put,
God!
kind of like what looked like what you would find like in a public restroom for tampons, but it was for garbage. And then I remember sitting on Court Street being like, I can't make it home because my dorm was so far away, and he was like, well, you have to go home, we have to get you home. I just want to sit here. And I think it took me a couple times of being like, I don't like how this feels. in the moment of being like too drunk, and then obviously the hangover the next day is fucking miserable. So I learned pretty quickly that I have limits and I throw up way too easy.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think that I like the inhibition and the freedom of alcohol.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's just way too many consequences. Like, it's not that serious. What about you just tell the motherfucking truth, not drunk? You know what I'm saying? Shit.
Yeah, why don't you just make that phone call to your ex while you're sober and see how that feels?
You know? It's not. But then the flip side of it, too, is because I'm a rule follower, I didn't discover marijuana, because that's illegal, guys.
Right.
For a very long time. So there were no vices that I could participate in where I could still be a rule follower, except for alcohol. So it's kind of like, I guess I'll drink one. So then my drink became, I discovered that I could handle vodka well. So it needed to be clear liquor, clear. And you had to stay with one color. If you start red, you got to stay red. If you start clear, you got to stay clear. You can't be jumping around.
Beer before liquor, never been sicker.
Yes. Also, drinking all them beers, motherfucker, you gonna be fucked up. We should come up with a little rhyme for that. But yeah, it's and it wasn't until...
Wait, how old were you when you smoked weed?
God, I was really old. It was... I told you this. I had a whole ass boyfriend who was a drug dealer and
that's right. And you didn't.
And I was like, gosh, you are always up and down.
Why is your beeper going off constantly?
He did too. I was like, really?
Why does your apartment smell skunky?
And he was so afraid to tell me because I was such a square.
Yeah.
And then one day, the truth came out, and then he's like, want to try it? And nothing happened, of course, when nothing happens. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, y'all are bullshitting. This ain't nothing. And then we tried it again the next day, and then something really did happen, and I was just like, hold on. You mean to tell me the sky opens up and you get transported to a world made of marshmallow glitter? That's what I've been missing out on, following all these fucking rules. And from there, I was like, this is it. This is everything. But I also, when it was introduced to me, all of that was still pre-therapy. So I was still looking for a thing to displace all of this anxiety and weird stuff into, so that I could act like I had a solution. So even the weed stuff, and I was never a social weed person. I was a, sit in your house with your boyfriend and smoke.
Okay.
Sit in the house with your boyfriend, smoke, and like look at menus person.
Yeah.
We're gonna be eating some shit. Never like out in the world, being high, because remember, it was illegal. I still had very much that attachment to it. So then when, you can have a, what do you call that? Certification and shit like that, and a
Your
reason
license.
to have it.
Yeah.
Yes. Then I was like, hold on. And even that came years and years and years and years later. Recently. Shit, I told you to get it. Recently.
Yeah.
So like, if it feels illegal, I'm like, oh God, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there we are. Vices. I don't know how we got here, but yeah. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you became, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is, happy Halloween, okay?
Happy Halloween. I'm so thrilled. What are we going to get into next year? I'm already looking forward to next Halloween.
God.
It's just going to escalate. Look.
What the fuck?
It's like,
We
it's
haven't
a
even
gateway
gotten to
drug.
this Halloween yet. That's the crazy part.
I know, but let's think about it. Okay, 2019, we talked after Halloween, so there was not an opportunity for me. 2020, you weren't interested in leaving the house, so there was no opportunity there either. Totally fine, not a big deal. Now, 2021, did you show up to the live in a costume? Sure did. Did you girls get to go out with Justin Beck and have a little trick-or-treat? Sure did. 2022, you have decorated, you have planned a party. Next year, what is even going to happen? I cannot wait. And y'all will have to stay subscribed to find out.
Hopefully, honestly, next year, like, I can pull off some kind of thing where I can convince them that it's not cool. But we'll see. It seems like they still love it. They love it. They love it.
It's fun. Who
And they
doesn't
love
love
candy.
to put on? Yes.
They love candy. And there's no... Like, I don't have that thing where I'm going to be arguing with my kids about, you had that already. No, you have to wait till this and that. Go ahead, eat that shit. See what happens. Your stomach's going to hurt. I'm telling you right now, your stomach's going to keep eating it. Go ahead. You'll see. And every time it works, I'll be like, Mom, my stomach hurts. I'll be like, isn't that what I told you was going to happen? Isn't that what I told you was going to happen?
Sometimes they have to learn on their own.
They do. Shira put M&Ms in her oatmeal. I was like, aren't you sick, though?
Oh.
Yeah.
She's like, not sick enough for these M&Ms in this oatmeal.
She said it makes it
Bye.
rainbow. I was like, okay, girl, good luck.
You know what? Actually, chocolate is like one of the more pleasant things to puke back up. So,
Ugh. You know what the worst thing to puke is? Red wine.
what? Oh.
It looks horrible.
Just acid. Ugh.
Well, it looks horrible. It looks like a murder scene because you're standing,
Yeah.
you're like laying near it, like, oh god. Especially if it's like on an empty stomach or something you ate with tiny chunks. Oh Jesus Christ!
Ooh,
Don't let it
okay.
be red wine after you had a little bit of rice. God dang.
Oh no.
That was one of the worst nights of my life. And why was there photographic evidence of it? I was like, if you don't fucking cut that off, if you don't fucking... what, are you fucking kidding me right now? This is when you would take the roll. This is when you would take the roll and drop it off at the pharmacy.
Yeah.
Come back a couple days later and the fucking person that processed your pictures would be like...
Looking at
Wow.
you like, ooh. Can't take her anywhere.
Yeah. I was like, why does this exist? So... Now let's get to the part where we say goodnight.
Sorry, I thought you cut out.
No, this is perfect because our intro, I think, was 15 minutes. Kelly's is going to be about 15 minutes, and then this is going to be roughly 30.
Halloween.
All right,
This is Halloween.
All right, y'all. We hope you enjoyed Kelly's story.
Oh wait, start again. Start again.
We hope you enjoyed Kelly's story. Thank you so much, Kelly, if you're listening.
Thank you, Kelley. Well, that's that. A very spooky thank you to you, Kelley Wolf, for sharing your story. If you're listening to this in real time, Sunday, October 30th, 2022, check back here tomorrow because we have a very a very special listener episode with scary stories as told by your very own stranger friends. So make sure that wherever you listen to podcasts, you are subscribed. You can find us on Instagram at imperfectstrangers_podcast, on Twitter at imperfstrangers, on the World Wide Webs at imperfectstrangerspodcast.com. If you want to become a patron, you can find us over at patreon.com/imperfectstrangers. With your support for the show, you get access to bonus content. Depending on your tier, you can get access to bonus episodes, to archived Monday Night Lives. Sometimes we host special Zoom parties just for our patrons, so lots of fun goodies over there. Private Discord, you know the drill, patreon.com/imperfectstrangers. We also have merch, so you can check that out from our website. We have 2 different stores, one on Merch Direct and another on Spring. There's also links to those 2 things in our bio from Instagram. In the meantime, like my very favorite spooky podcaster likes to end her show, shout out to Liz Sauer and Ghosts in the Burbs. If you guys like scary stories, you have to check out Liz's show. Good night, sleep tight, and don't forget your nightlight.